Another set of blending modes that I identify are called the color blending modes. I can have a lot of fun with these. There's hue, saturation, color, and luminosity. What they're doing is, think of it this way. Hue is actually, in a sense, the color, right? Hue, saturation, and brightness. Saturation is the intensity or the saturation of the color, and luminosity is how bright the color is. When you're working with these, you're saying to the computer, like hue, that's the first one we got up there, computer, take the hue of the base layer and replace the hue of the blend layer with that color. Leave everything else alone. Leave the saturation and the luminosity alone. So let's try that one first. Again, we'll go to left cover. We go into our blending modes and go down to hue. We'll go into our center cover and we'll go into hue. And we should have no change whatsoever because it's the exact same thing. In other words, computer, take the shades of gray. Notice it didn't really change much. It didn't get darker or lighter. It's not looking at that. It's just looking at the hue, and there is no hue to a grayscale. It's kind of desaturating the information. On this one, I'm saying replace all those colors with this color, which is what it did. And on this one, it's the same hue, so why would it change it? It stays the same. That's hue. Let's go to saturation. In saturation, think about it. What we're doing to the computer is saying, take the saturation value of my colors and replace in the blend mode that saturation value with the base saturation value. We'll start with our left cover again, and we'll go into saturation. We'll go into center cover and go saturation. And we'll go into the last one and go saturation. However, there is no change because the saturation value of this one is exactly the same as this one. You will notice there is very little change in this one. This is the one that gave the most change, mainly because the saturation value of the color is 0. If you have a layer directly above another layer and you use saturation and the layer or base is gray, it doesn't matter what's in there. If it's grayscale, it will ignore everything and just convert the thing into shades of gray. That's all it's going to do. In this case, again, very little, if any, difference. But we're using a uniform saturation value, so there are some very subtle, slight differences in the saturation of the colors, not the colors themselves, just their saturation level. Get it? Let's go to the next one. This is one of my favorites, color blending mode. Color blending mode is similar to hue, but it has more control over just the color. So it does deal with things even like saturation. I love using this one to colorize an image because we're replacing the color in the blend with whatever's in the base. So we start with this one right here. And that's, of course, our left cover. We say to the computer, go down to color. Go to center. Watch this one, color. All of the colors in the image have been replaced with this really nice cyan color, but we're also maintaining our values of hue and saturation, unlike hue. Last one, right cover. We go in and we do a color. Nothing's going to happen because the colors are exactly the same. This is a great one for colorizing old images, though. Let's go to the last one, and that's called luminosity. In luminosity, we're creating a result that has the hue and saturation of the base, but we're replacing the luminosity of the blend layer with the luminosity of the base layer. Let's start again with left cover. Go into normal and go to luminosity at the bottom of the list. Remember, this is luminosity. We're changing the luminance of the pixels, so we're getting a very dull kind of look up here. We'll go to center, do the same thing, luminosity. Same idea. It's making all of the colors have the same luminosity, which creates, in a lot of cases, a boring image, I will admit. Let's go to the last one and go down to luminosity. And of course, like all the others, it's not going to change because the base and the blend have exactly the same luminosity. So remember, hue, saturation, and luminosity, those three. What you're doing is you're taking that one element from the base and replacing that element in the blend With color, you're actually replacing the entire color, including luminosity, hue, and saturation, with whatever went on in this layer up here. And like I said, I like that one a whole lot for colorizing old images.